I understand when it comes to that. Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Chair. I request that you hand the witness to me, and I'll be done with him in 5 minutes. CS, I prefer, because we've worked with you at the Energy Committee, I prefer that you give direct answers. I only have 5 minutes. In November of 2023, I was in the Senate when your predecessor, Kipchumba Murkomen, told us that the government was going to initiate a tender process. In fact, he gave the date of January of 2024 for the upgrade and development of a second terminal at Jkia. When did the policy of government change with regards to upgrading of Jkia? CS, with me, we'll talk directly. Just answer me, then I'll go to the next question.
How many questions do you have so that you can manage?
I have only 5 minutes, Chair. All my questions will be answered in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Chair, I've taken quite a bit of time talking to the process of unsolicited, public or privately initiated proposal. It is in the law, it is in PAP.
Yes, my question is,
yes.
Forget what Adani did. I'm talking to government policy now. The stated government policy as at November of 2023 was that there was going to be the initiation of a tender process. In fact, he had said there would be an international expression of interest for the development of a second terminal at Jkia, advertised in January of 2024. When did government policy with regards to the development of a second terminal at Jkia change?
The fiscal headroom, the capacity for government involvement in being a partner in funding the development of the airport. It's one thing when you come to government and you want to do big things until you realize the government balance sheet is overstretched.
CS, you are evading my question, because even if we did a public tender, we would not be using public money. If we did an expression of interest for everybody to know that we are interested in redeveloping or upgrading Jkia, let other people come. That was the position of the government as far as this infrastructure project was concerned. Is it still the stated policy of government, Waziri? Is it still the stated government policy that we
Certainly, I think I've acknowledged that we should have really carried Kenyans earlier through proper disclosure.
Now, would you agree with me that this is a more inefficient method? You told us that there's a committee of 15 people to review one proposal. If tomorrow we woke up, Waziri, and we have 30 proposals to redevelop Jkia, we would go through these same 20 steps that you've given us, with the 15 people per committee to look at each individual proposal.
I agree with you, but for huge infrastructure projects, I wish we could get another proposal tomorrow. I wish we could get the Rironi Mau Summit proposal tomorrow. We don't have one. So if we get one tomorrow, we'll be visiting that country destination to suit them to come and close that deal.
That's what I'm saying, CS.
Yeah.
If you put out an international invitation for expression of interest, you would get more proposals. Yes. And you would have one team working on all of those proposals, telling Kenyans which is the best proposal, instead of secretly initiated private proposals that you have to then look at one at each moment. But let me move to this question of the employees. You have told us that there will be 3 options. Mambo ni matatu. that you either accept the proposal from Adani, or you stick with KA, or you take a golden handshake. Where in that head of terms is that? Because I've read 3.3 of the head of terms, and it doesn't speak to those three options for the staff at Jkia. Where in the proposal can I find what you have told us?
I think, Chair, I did say we are currently negotiating the concession agreement. We have a draft concession agreement which we are currently negotiating, and those are the three items which are deal breakers for us as Kenya, and Adani has accepted. Maybe because it's what's happening now. Like I said, we are at that stage number 13, where we are currently negotiating the pulling the key items from the head of terms to the concession agreement. And then I'm on record. I took an oath. The three items, the three options I've mentioned, we've made them deal breakers, that the terms will be same or better. The staff can take the option of remaining in KAA, or they can take an exit option. So that is information because of the timing and what's going on right now.
Chair, I just have two final questions, then I will hand it back. Waziri, if you look at the proposal from Adani, in fact, the construction of a second runway, which all of us agree is necessary, is not a priority for them. If you look at the proposal, they make it contingent upon traffic justifying the investment.
Adani proposal is Adani's proposal. They would certainly like to come and sweat the current runway, but cognizance of what's happening.
Our runway. They want to use our runway. They are not building anything extra.
But cognizant of what's happening in the region competitively, Ethiopia, Tanzania, we have made it also a deal breaker that a second runway. So it's one thing to give us, like I said, it's a negotiation. So one of the deal breakers for us is a second runway within that period of time that we are negotiating on.
Okay. Lastly, Chair, I want to know if there are any tax exemptions that Adani have requested for.
CEO, do you want to help me here so that I don't keep consulting?
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yes, in their proposal, they had indicated that they would want some tax holidays, but the position we've taken is that in the event of such an application, let it go through the due process. So no, they have never been accepted on that. We've now migrated it to the due process.
I wish you would use the language of a CS. Is that a deal breaker or not?
We never made it as a deal breaker. We migrated it, we ring fence it to the due process. So it is up to the government to accept or to reject.
Okay, lastly, Chair, listening to the CS.
Lastly.
Yes, very lastly, listening to the CS, you would think that what they are trying to do is to set up a coffee shop at some corner of Jkia and that operations will continue. Because I heard you when you asked what percentage of land they are taking up. Isn't it a fact, CS, that this proposal is to take up the entire management of the entire airport? You are not setting up a new duty-free shop at a corner somewhere. They are taking up the entire Jkia from management of the, what did you call, the aeronauticals, to parking, to everything, including the employees. Why are you creating this impression that you are hiving a small corner for them somewhere to do operations and that KA will continue with management of Jkia? What is the correct position, CS?
Let me take some water, PS.
Thank you, Waziri, and thank you, Chair.
Kitu ni ngumu bwana. Kitu ni mbaya.
Senator Nyonka, you're out of order.
What the proponent wants to come and put up is clearly illustrated. A new terminal, a runway based on trigger, refurbishing the existing terminal, and establishing what we call the rapid exit taxiways. Now, this will need to be decided. Are we putting up 140,000 square meter of terminal? Are we putting up 100,000 square meter of terminal?
That's not the question.
Jkia has 11,000 acres. If the proponent would want to come and put up, hotels in the city side, they will follow up the K land lease policy. We are not giving out the entire 11,000 acres.
That's not the question,
of
Chair.
JKA.
The question is management and operation of JKIA as an airport.
Yes.
From the aeronauticals to the parking areas, to all the businesses that are going on there. Who is going to be doing that management?
Yes, Adani is an operator, and that is why the model is build, operate, transfer. They will be running the JKA.
Everything.
Yes.
That's what you should say. Thank you, Chair. I
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I hope he's still in the shape that you wanted it to be.
You know, Senator Sifuna is a learned friend, so you wanted to cross-examine. So I don't know whether Senator Chirchir would want to do the same, or you want to give your questions and then you wait for answers.
Yes, I will ask questions and wait for answers. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. You know, I am surprised and shocked. And I think if the CS who is seated here before us today was the CS then, I know and believe you wouldn't have agreed to this consent. I come from a nomadic community. And in a nomadic community where you also come from, you cannot bring a goat. We normally do barter trading. You cannot come with a goat and expect the other person to give you a camel. Once that happens, you will just say, no, I will not even talk to you. And I want to tell you today, Honorable CS, the deal initially, when they proposed to invest $1.8 billion. And that is 234 billion shillings. Honorable CS, the land and property value today is at 1.1 trillion shillings. What Adani wants after 30 years is 18%. So that means they are taking land plus properties on those land for about 18%, which is what they've invested initially. And I don't understand. Why are you even negotiating? Because after 30 years, after making a lot of profits, they want 18% of our land plus property on that land. Honorable CS, Ethiopia, they're building a new airport. This airport is costing $6 billion US, and it will accommodate 100 million passengers. It is 40 kilometers away from Addis Ababa, a place called Bushoftu. So I want to ask you, Bwana CS, kindly, why don't you cancel this deal? Because it stinks to the core. I give you an example. And I want you to do this mathematics. Adani comes from India and then get 18% of our property, of our land, and everything we possess, and take it to India. Why should you accept this? Tell us. Why do you even negotiate? That's my question. Number two, you've talked about the issue of Adani. There is a report by Heidelberg Research Institute that says Adani is a con. And I don't want to list it down. It's about 20 issues. It talks about Adani itself, and it talks about relatives, almost 8 of them, how they conned people, how they conned even taxes. So, Honorable CS, I don't mind these people investing here, but my question is, why did you even decide, the government decides to even negotiate with them? Because the initial program, if I look at what they've given, you just tell them, sorry, come up with something good. You are sending people to India, you are sending people all over. So tell us why. The other last issue, Honorable CS.
Thank you.
Let me finish.
The last one, and then you'll be able to respond.
Please kindly, Pana CS, call the president, talk to him, advise him, tell him this deal. Kenyans don't want this deal. This is a fraud, and it's a fraud just like Goldenberg, and it's a fraud, Anglo-leasing, and a fraud like the cooking oil.
Edible oil.
Yes, edible oil. That is being now dealt with. So, Bwana CS, for the love of this country, please advise the president. Thank you very much.
CS.
Chair, I think it's unfortunate because Honorable Chute's submission is based on wrong information. That Adani is requested for 18% residual after 30 years. That is not true. There is no request for 18% residual equity ownership of the airport after 30 years. It reverts to the government of Kenya 100%, and I'm on oath, Honorable Chute, through the chair. There is no 18% residual. We can come back again and again because, like I said, it's a negotiation process, but there is no 18%. The 18%, which could have been kind of carried, is in the initial proposal, they did ask for 18% return on equity, the 30% equity they are putting in. And I think today we've negotiated, we are at 16%. 16% return on the 30% equity investment. There is no 18% residual equity ownership of the airport after 30 years. That is the straight answer. Thank you.
Okay. We were waiting for Senator Omtata. Yeah, you'll be the next one.
Okay.
Yes, Honorable CS.